Hans Timmerstode, FightHype.com, here with Frank Martin. How you doing tonight, brother?
Man, I'm straight. I can't complain.
All right. So, there's a lot of stuff we could talk about, but wanted to get your thoughts first off on Michelle Rivera failing those two drug tests, man. I know on your social media you had put up like the face palm thing, like you were like disappointed and whatever, but what was kind of your thoughts about that, man?
Nah, I feel like it was crazy that he did that. And they
Mhm.
felt like he had to cheat the man to beat the man. So that right there, man, it was just like it was crazy, but it ain't turned out in his favor. So I can't. It is what it is.
Does that kind of give you, I don't know, it might be a little bit of a weird question, but does it kind of make you look in the mirror and say, like, damn, I'm really that dude? Because I just beat somebody who failed, a drug test where he failed with he had two things in his body, two banned substances. So does that kind of make you look at yourself and say, I still beat dude anyways?
Uh, I wouldn't say so. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't say it made me think no different on him being on something. Man, I was ready. I was ready for everything he had. Like even if he was like man, I was ready for everything. Like if he say for instance if the fight would have been different, like him coming forward, I
Yeah.
was ready. If I had to go back and fight going back, I was ready for everything. We had a good game plan.
Got it. So, got to talk about your best friend, Chris Colbert. I think you guys are
Man,
besties, man.
man, man. Hey, he got a blessing that night of that fight because he did not get that win.
You don't
You know
think
what I
so, man?
mean?
You don't think he did
Nah,
enough to win?
man. I mean, I feel like he did fight with more urgency than Venezuela. But I
Mhm.
feel like it should have been like at least they should have made it a draw. But I feel
Mm,
like the knockdown wasn't the only thing because it was in the earlier rounds.
mhm.
Chris Colbert he came back and he did win some rounds because dude Venezuela was chilling too much.
Yeah.
He wasn't fighting like I'm fighting to win. He was fighting like I'm here, but like I want to win, but like I'm not like I'm finna just beat him. I'm finna just dog him. He ain't fight with that type of urgency. Like he was too calm with the fight.
But if you can say he was a little bit too calm with the fight and Chris did fight with a lot more urgency, like couldn't you see a world where Chris did pick up the win? Because he did box really well. He got hurt a few times for sure, but
That's the thing. That's what it is. He got dropped, and then he did get hit with quite a few, good shots that hurt him. He was hurt a couple times.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So like with that, with getting hurt, clipped and being hurt in certain rounds, you know what I mean? I feel like I just like dude Venezuela had pulled it out. I feel like he pulled it out.
Mm.
Chris was hitting him, but Venezuela was hitting Chris with the bigger shots. He was hitting him with the bigger shots, and Chris was just, he did fight like he like with way more urgency than Venezuela.
Did a part of you kind of, I don't want to say root for Chris, but I kind of do want to say that because you guys been going back and forth. That's a pretty significant fight. So with a part of you just like, yo, Chris, pick up this win, and then you can see me later on this year, man.
Man, Chris don't want to see me. He don't want to see me for real, for real.
Well,
Yeah,
I
man.
tell you this, man. I talked to Chris. I talked to him a pretty good amount, man. He definitely wants to fight you, man.
Man, Chris said he coming me go down to 30. Bro, why would I go to 30 to fight you, bro? Like, why would I go to 30? You know what I mean? Like, I'll fight him. You know what I mean? Let him be at 30, come to 35. That's cool. We can dance. You know what I mean? Like, I hurt Chris, man. Like it's a lot of these guys, man, they living off this amateur like background. You know what I mean? Like the amateurs is the amateurs. Everybody turning pro, and every good amateur ain't a good pro. You know what I mean? Like think about all the people who won gold in the Olympics, all the foreigners or whatever who done won gold, how they career doing in the pros. You know what I mean? So I feel like a lot of guys like be so hyped up on their amateur background, but really like they ain't really like developed into a full pro. You know what I mean? Like my amateur background was I had like 58 fights. It was like I was amateur for a little bit,
Hmm.
but I feel like as a pro, I've been developing like my style as a pro just keep growing, like with a fighter like Chris, he got a lot of flaws, he got ability, but just me watching the fight and all that, like I see so many different I just see so many different things that I would do, like if me and him was to fight, like he as a pro, like he okay pro, but he okay pro. If he want to fight me, we on here, we could fight. But I just see so many ways that I could do it. I just see so many ways.
So, might be a dumb question, but are you saying that 130 for you out the question? Got to be at 35.
Yeah, I ain't going to 30.
Okay, fair enough.
I ain't going to no 30.
Is what could you kind of see about Chris's overall skills? Like, are there some things that you see about him and say, I know I could beat him, but nah, he really does do X, Y, and Z really well, though.
No, what I say is, I say with that Venezuela, he showed me something a little different. When he fought, he got some heart. He actually got some heart.
Yeah.
When he fought
Hector
Garcia,
lose. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, when he fought Hector, he was hurt, but he still was there. He still was like he was still trying to fight. That fight he was holding a lot because dude was just on him. Dude was on him, so he was holding a lot. But with Venezuela, he showed me like that he do got some heart, and he'll bite down and dig deep or whatever. But other than that, he fast. He got some fast hands, but he just like I just feel like he's sloppy with it. He what I got out of that fight is okay. He got more dog in him than I thought he did. But when it
Gotcha.
comes to like the skill set, he got like fast hands and you know what I mean. He got fast hands and stuff, but he ain't got no control over his body. Like he just like he just throwing stuff. He may switch up and just how he got stopped, how he got dropped. He be doing all that switching. He be doing all that switching and changing stances. But he got the fast hands, man, and that's really in some heart. He got some heart. But like when it comes to like real deal skill, he ain't really got it down. Like he could do the switching, he could do all that, but like he ain't fluent with it. He got like he's real rugged. He real rugged with it.
Okay. So just want to make sure, man, because Chris talks a lot. You're not a guy that's a real talker or anything like that, but the boxing world would love to see it. Is there any way for maybe like a catch weight meet in the middle or something, man? Because fans are gonna be upset if the fight don't happen, man.
Man, tell Chris just how he just fought Venezuela. He
Mhm.
can come to 135 and we can make it happen.
Do you think that if you guys did fight, that you'll ultimately stop him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm too much, man. I'm too much for him, man. I'm just too much. I'm
Fair
too
enough.
much.
Fair enough, man. Let's move away from Chris. There's always been like a lot of talks with you possibly fighting a guy like Cruz. I remember that you was talking about that fight like way before the Michelle Rivera fight. Cause I remember I spoke to you in like 2021. It was like an arrow fight. I'm not sure if you remember. And we like brought up Cruz and you were just like, yeah, you'll fight him ASAP. So what's
Yeah.
kind of like, do you think that fight can possibly happen this year, man?
It could happen like at the end of the year.
Mm,
Like man, I'm trying to get me a belt.
mm,
So like for real, like when it come to fights, I don't really be like I fight. I fight. Like this guy's turning me down, turning fights down, but like an Isaac Cruz, that's good. It's gonna push me. It's gonna challenge me. You know what
mm.
I mean? It may be a fight. I gotta go through adversity or whatever. Like I don't be like I don't run from them good fights. Because it's only gonna make me better. So if I take them, I wash these fighters. You know what I mean? Whoever I fight, all it's gonna do is it's just gonna keep making me better. Because I'm in the gym. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to constantly keep growing and getting better. Like I ain't felt stagnant and I don't know how long. Like I constantly feel like I'm just growing. So a fight with Isaac Cruz, man, that'd be a good fight for me.
What do you kind of think about him overall as a fighter, man? He really jumped on the scene, obviously, with that tank performance, but what do you think about him overall, man?
He a tough fighter. He a banger. He's a banger. He got tight defense. He stays small. He's just a pressure fighter.
Is it
Just
Is it kind of more difficult to fight a guy who, like you said, stays small, keeps his hands up real high, real tight defense, keeps coming forward? Is it more difficult to fight a guy like that, or like a guy like Michelle Rivera, even though he didn't necessarily try to box too much on the outside with you, but is it more difficult to fight a guy with that type of style?
Man, I feel like with aggressive fighters, I do good against aggressive fighters.
Mm,
I damn near always knock out aggressive fighters every time. I
mm,
always give me like a knockout against an aggressive fighter. I feel like it'd be more when I fight uh like counter punchers or something like that. Like we trying to, figure stuff out. Sometimes I might have to go get them to stop them instead of
mm.
them coming to me. You know what I mean? So I feel like aggressive fighters, it just depends on who it is. But for
Gotcha.
me, when I fight aggressive fighters, I feel like I always do my thing.
But that's a pretty good point because that just reminded me that you're, from what I can remember, you're the only guy to catch a drop to drop Virgil Ortiz in the amateurs, which is kind of crazy because he's now at 147 and knocking everybody out. He's a really aggressive guy, so that's a really good point by you. Um, do you look at a guy like Keyshawn Davis, bless you, in that
Appreciate it.
no problem. In that same realm, granted, he is pretty young. I think he's 22, 23. I'm not really sure. Former Olympic silver medalist. Do you look at him kind of in that same vein a little bit?
Man, I feel like he's still like everybody say, he good, right? The
Mhm.
dude good, but I just feel like it's it don't matter who you sparring. You can set up, you can spar Shakur, you can spar Terrence Crawford. That's good sparring. That's great sparring. But a lot of times with this, these guys been boxing since they was kids, right? How
Mhm.
much more can he grow? You sparring with the top guys right now, and you ain't even putting the fighters they putting in front of you. You ain't even really like dogging them like you supposed to, considering that work you getting. You know what I mean? So it's just like how much more, how much more can he grow? The only thing he can do is get stronger, But when it comes to the skill set and all that, how much more can his IQ grow? I mean, it could still grow. It could still grow. But
Mhm.
like people just be killing me when they say, "Oh, he getting this type of work. He getting that type of work." Well, why he ain't watching these? Why ain't he dominating these fighters that he fighting? He getting the best work he can get. He supposed to be washing them. You know what I mean? So, uh, he good, but he still got room. He still got room to grow. Like he still got room to grow. Right now, he calling me out. He doing what he's supposed to do, but he not ready for me. He not ready for me.
So what's kind of your response? Because he does call you out a lot. He recently said that he'll hurt you. He was saying it to Errol. He said in an interview with me, actually, he was just like, Errol, keep hyping your boy up. You're going to get your boy hurt. So,
That's
just,
that's 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 what he's supposed to say. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean he's supposed to say that. So I ain't worried about none of it. What I tell him, like stay in your lane. Like stay in
Mm,
your lane, like we a dance, go fight. He they brought up something about records. What his record is and where my record was at when
mm,
I was coming up. First we came up different. You know what I mean? It's easy. They came up on top rank. You know what I mean? They came up with a big promoter, one of the biggest promoters in the game. They're gonna have a good match opponent pool, so they can get fighters with good records to make these fighters' resumes look good. You know what I mean? I came up fighting in armories. I'm hustling tickets, so we
yeah.
came up different. So when it comes to records, like don't look at who I fought in the beginning. Look at who I've been fighting. I ain't got no layup. Look who I've been fighting my last 5, 6 fights. You know what I mean? He ain't fought nobody. I don't 7 fights, 6 fights. He ain't fought nobody. Like none of the dudes I fought. You know what I mean? And of course, you're gonna have a better resume. You're a bronze, silver
Silver.
medalist in the Olympics. Come on, So it's just different. Like it's just different. We ain't in the amateurs no more though. We in the pros.
That's a fair point, man. Do you kind of think that fight is something that's gonna happen down the line though, man? Or you think I don't want to say the talent gap, but do you think that it's just because you're like pretty much right there for a world title shot. Keyshawn, he's really, really good, but he still has like a ways to go before he gets there. So do you think that you guys are just too far apart right now for that to be realistic?
No, I mean, yeah, we ain't gonna fight right now. It ain't nothing that's gonna happen right now. But he get some belts or whatever, or say for instance, I got some belts and it makes sense at the time. If he ranked where he's supposed to be at high or whatever, we could dance because he keep talking. So me, I give him what he asking for. So you know he just got to just let him keep getting some fights. Because if I fight him now, if I dog him, they're gonna be like, oh, he only had this many fights. So let him keep getting some fights so it's fair, and we can both get we can get our just due after the fight over with.
That's a fair point. Does the stuff like that like ever like bother you, man? Because you're just really chill, really calm, and other guys in your weight class, they're kind of a little bit more loud, talk a lot of shit, and you just be really chilling, But like on the inside, does that type of stuff bother you? Like,
Hell yeah.
smoking shit.
Hell yeah, it bother me. You know what I mean? Because it's just like sometimes like me, I'm the type of person like if I say something, if I call you out or if anything like that, I mean it. You know what I mean? And I think I ain't never called nobody out when I wasn't like at a certain level. Like when I knew it wasn't gonna happen or it couldn't happen, I ain't gonna call you out. You know what I mean? Because it's not gonna happen. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? So like me, if I call somebody out, I'm able to like it's real and it can really happen. You know what I mean? Because where I'm like the ranking or whatever, the only time I didn't call Devin Haney and them out and Tank them out like after my last two fights.
Mhm.
So like I waited to even call people out, but when I called them out, I meant what I said. It wasn't just me calling out a name just because I like that's what a lot of fighters do. I call you out, I mean it. You know.
Gotcha. Speaking about Devin, man, do you think that he is going to end up pulling off that win against Loma on May 20th?
Man, I hope you do. I hope you do.
But if you had to lean towards somebody, who you taking in that one?
I don't see him just beating Lomachenko with no jab,
Mm.
but it seemed like he been in the gym trying to work other shots and stuff like that. I feel like Lomachenko just a little more. We got to see too, like how well his power gonna do against Lomachenko. Because what I noticed, Loma he don't like getting like when he fight powerful fighters, he
Mhm.
hold back. He don't really let loose. He get in his groove like later in the fight
Mhm.
or whatever. But it depends on if he gonna respect Devin Haney power or if he gonna kind of be like, okay, he got some respectable power, so I gotta play it smart. If he don't respect the power, I feel like his angles and then just the body shots and stuff gonna kind of wear Devin out.
Mm.
But for the most part, man, I think Devin, man, I want him to get the fight. I want him to get that.
All right. So why exactly are you saying that you want him to win? Is it because maybe
Cause
yeah,
think
good.
about think about this. Think about this. Devin the champion, right?
Hmm.
Why ain't he praised like Lomachenko was when he had all the belts? You feel me? Like why is it that he keep getting opportunities to fight for these belts? You know what I mean? So it's just like, I just, Devin he done had them belts and ain't nobody really praised him or give him his props like they did a Loma. And Loma keep getting chance after chance to get the belts.
Mm.
So I feel like, man, it's set up for, certain people differently.
Gotcha. I already know exactly where you're going with that. We don't even gotta dive into it. I already know, man.